I'll explain the difference between the React functional component and the class component. React component are basically the building blocks of any React applications. They let us fit the UI into reusable places that manage their own logic and rendering. Okay, there are two main ways to write components in React. Okay, functional components and class component. So we'll go through both, look at their difference and do the live coding with examples. Okay, so let us start with the functional component. What is functional component? Functional component are just the JavaScript functions, okay, that runs JSX. They are originally used for simple stateless UI, but now thanks to the React hooks, okay, they can handle state, side effects, and much more. So we define the functional component as this, like suppose function greeting return H1. My name is Ayush. Okay, so this is a simple function that returns JSX, and that's our first functional component. So let me show you once. Okay, so like suppose, so here we can see my name is Ayush is just returning. Now we are going to use the use state and use hook, the use effect. Okay, so let's just come through this one, and in this I'm going to write function function counter function. We're going to define one use state count comma set count equals to use state, which initially it will be a 0. Okay, now we are going to try to use effect. Okay, in this we are going to write the side effect. Like suppose I'm going to console one thing, updated. Okay, and it will update the count, COU and the count. Okay, after we are going to write one dependency on which it will take effects. Okay, and now returning some UI components. here it will be button. Okay, it will perform on click. Set count, count plus 1, increment, and here I would write one h2 commands. Okay, basically we can write functional counter. Okay, oh sorry, I haven't exported over here now. You have to export also, that is not. So we can see like the use effect, use state, um, uh, like see here I used two hooks. Okay, use state to manage the state count, and use effect to run the effect whenever count changes. Okay, this so that the functional components can now handle everything and class component used to do. Okay, like see increment, it's working fine. Okay, now what is the advantage and the limitation? Functional components are simpler, easier to read, and require less code. They work great with hooks, making the state and lifestyles logic very flexible. The limitation is mainly historical. Okay, before hooks was introduced, they couldn't handle state or the life cycles, but today's they are recommended uh, way to write the React component. Let us move to class component. Okay, the class component are written using the class keywords, extends React dot component. They were original way to manage the state and life cycles methods. Like suppose we can see over example class, um, like greeting extends component. Okay, the component has been imported from React. Okay, as you can see, this is render render return h1 h1 hello. I am a class component. Okay, now we can write in app.js. So here we define the greeting class component. It must have render method that returns the JSX. Okay, like suppose here, like see here, I write the render. Like here, I write a render to return the content. Okay, so like so the advantage and the limitations of this are class component are powerful and still support, but they are more verbose and harder to use logic. The React introduced the hooks to simplify the things. So the difference between the functional class component is the syntax. The difference is that the functional component are functions class components use the class keywords and state on the state basis. The functional component use state. Class component use this dot state. Okay, side effect of the both is the functional component use effect and class component use life cycle methods. And the code difference is the functional component are usually shorter and easier to read while the class component are not. So the today the functional components use the best hooks as a standard approach. So okay, like so basically the summary of this video is that React gave us two ways to create the component: class component and functional components. Class component use lifecycle methods and this dot state, where functional component use hooks like use state and use effect. Today, functional statements are uh, recommended approach, but uh, still used to understand the class component because you may encounter them in the older codeways. Okay, so this is the video. I hope you like it. Thank you.